Hey there, creators. If you're part of the YouTube Partner Program, you know just how vital your brand is. So today, we're going to dive into how you can get a real strategic handle on the ads that show up on your channel.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why you even have this power to block ads. Then, we'll look at the 3 main tools YouTube gives you. After that, we'll do a quick step-by-step setup, cover the really important catches you need to be aware of, and then we'll wrap it all up by helping you figure out your own ad strategy.
First up, the power to block. At its heart, this is all about remembering one simple thing. It is your channel. That means you get to set the rules and really shape the experience your audience has.
I mean, have you ever had that feeling? You pour all this time and energy into making fantastic content, and then an ad pops up that just feels wrong. Maybe it's totally off topic, or even worse, it goes completely against what your brand stands for. Well, this is exactly where ad blocking comes in. You should really think of it as your own personal control panel. It's not just about zapping annoying ads, it's a pretty smart tool for curating your brand's vibe and, honestly, protecting your audience. You get to be the judge of what fits.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. In this next part, we're going to break down the 3 specific tools YouTube gives you to manage the ads on your channel. First, we've got blocking by specific URLs. This is your precision tool. It's like a scalpel. If you see an ad from a company you just don't want to be associated with, you can target their website directly and block them.
Here's a perfect example of what I mean. Let's say your channel is all about giving solid, trustworthy financial advice. Then you see an ad for some sketchy, get-rich-quick website. That's a huge clash with your brand. So you just grab that advertiser's URL, pop it into your block list, and boom, it's not going to show up on your videos anymore.
Now, you do have to keep a limit in mind. YouTube lets you block a maximum of 500 specific URLs, so you'll want to save these spots for the blocks that really matter.
All right, tool number 2 is blocking general categories. This is more of a broad strokes approach. If you know that ads about, say, cars or fashion just make no sense for your audience, you can block that entire category with one click.
And this can be incredibly useful for just keeping your channel's tone consistent. Like, if you run a channel focused on education for young kids, an ad for a super intense M-rated video game would be totally out of place, right? Well, with this tool, you can block the entire video games category and stop that from ever being an issue. For these general categories, YouTube gives you a limit of 200. And honestly, that is more than enough to really shape the kinds of ads that feel right for your content.
And our third and final tool is for sensitive categories. This one is absolutely crucial for keeping your channel a brand-safe space. If topics like politics or dating just don't jive with your channel's message, you can make sure ads about them never see the light of day on your videos. This really comes down to protecting your brand's promise. If you've worked hard to build a family-friendly channel, your #1 goal is keeping that experience safe and appropriate for everyone. Blocking a sensitive category like dating is a really powerful way to deliver on that promise.
And hey, it's worth noting that YouTube already gives you a bit of a head start here. Ads related to gambling and alcohol, they're already blocked by default on every channel. Of course, if those topics are a good fit for your content, you can always go in and choose to allow them.
All right, so now you know the tools. Let's walk through exactly how you put them to work. This next part is just a quick, super practical guide to getting it all set up right inside your YouTube studio. So YouTube basically gives you 2 main ways to get this done. You can go through the Earn tab in your studio, which is pretty direct, or you can find the exact same controls under the main settings menu. Whichever way you go, just don't forget to save your changes, and they should take effect within about 24 hours. Okay, this next part is super important. We've talked about all the power and control you have, but now we have to talk about the trade-offs. These are the catches that you absolutely have to know before you start blocking anything. Let's be totally clear about this. Blocking ads can and probably will reduce your earnings. It's just simple economics, right? When you block advertisers, you're shrinking the pool of companies that are bidding to place ads on your videos. Fewer bidders can easily lead to lower revenue.
And here's another huge catch. This entire control panel works perfectly for your regular, long-form videos, what YouTube calls watch page ads. But, and this is a big but, it does not give you that same level of control over ads that show up in the Shorts feed. So even if you block a whole category, those ads might still pop up when people are scrolling through Shorts. Oh, and here's a little heads up for anyone planning ahead. YouTube is updating some of these categories in 2025. The video games category is going away, and you'll need to use the subcategories under hobbies instead. Same thing for bare skin. That one's also changing. So if you're blocking these now, you'll need to tweak your settings next year to keep things working. So we have covered the tools, the how-to, and the really critical catches. Now for our final section, let's pull all this together and talk about how you can craft your own ad strategy. Let's see how this actually plays out. Imagine a channel that's all about spiritual content. By blocking ads for dating and gaming, the creator makes sure the ad experience feels way more relevant for their audience. And that builds trust. But as you can see, the trade-off is a smaller pool of advertisers, which might mean earnings dip a little bit. That's the strategic choice right there. In action, brand alignment versus revenue.
And that really brings us to the final and most important question, one that only you can answer for your channel. This whole thing isn't just an on or off switch. It is a balancing act. So, what's your balance? Are you going all in on brand safety and viewer trust, or are you trying to maximize every dollar of revenue? The right strategy is simply the one that feels right for you and for your community.